City's reaction to the latest snowstorm in this amazing 17-day streak of storms. No snow right now in Boston.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
All cars are racing against time. Some are just doing better than others. Save 25% on durable Firestone Destination LE2 tires for your SUV at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
These scenes at a hospital in Central Africa may look like an emergency, but at Save the Children, we see this throughout the world every single day. Among the new arrivals is Kayembe. So frail, he can no longer stand. Kayembe is almost 2 years old, but his weight is less than half that of a healthy child his age.
5 grave de malnutrition.
Kayembe is slowly dying. He needs food, and he needs medicine urgently. These are the basic things that you can help us provide by calling the number on your screen now and giving just $10 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. We know what it takes to save lives. It takes us, you, and as little as $10 a month. Save the Children is on the ground in the U.S. and all over the world, but we need your help to deliver life-saving medicine, medical care, clean water, and nutritious food to children in desperate need. For a child as critically ill as Kayembe, a single phone call can make the difference. Please, pick up the phone now. For less than 35 cents a day, you can help us save a child's life. Call now, and you'll receive this special Save the Children tote bag as a thank you for your support and a reminder of the difference you're making in children's lives. Every day, 19,000 children die from preventable causes. That's one child every 5 seconds. But it doesn't have to be this way. For just $10 a month, you can make a difference. Please, don't put this off. We need your help to get these children the critical medicine, food, and clean water they urgently need.
Aussi, il n'y a pas assez de nourriture à donner aux enfants. Les enfants vont mourir.
Call Save the Children now and help us save a child's life.
My lenses have a sunset mode, and an early morning mode, and a partly sunny mode, and an outside to clear inside mode.
Transition's signature adaptive lenses are more responsive than ever. So why settle for a lens with just one mode? Experience life well lit. Upgrade your lenses to Transition's signature. Visit your local Sam's Club Optical today to ask about Transition's signature lenses with Chromia 7 technology and start living a life well lit.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Watch Jim Cantore, Sam Champion, and Jennifer Delgado on AMHQ, weekday mornings at 7.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 74, winds north-northwest miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
on the Weather Channel.
I like the snow. I wish it was all snow.
I'm tired of it. Somewhere warm on a beach.
I'll take snowy over cold.
When do you get to ski down the center of the street? We love snow.
Yes, they do, and they have to stand it up there. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. Well, Boston leads the world in flight cancellations today. More than 50 so far from Logan International Airport.
And if you have plans to fly this weekend, you need to keep an eye on the forecast. Mike Seidel is there, and he might be there for a while, Mike, because we're talking about more snow and more systems headed your way.
Yes, let's talk about the first one because that's really within the realm of a pretty decent forecast. All the models coming in saying it's going to blow up. This clipper is going to go off the coast and blow up out through the North Atlantic. Far enough off the coast that right now our forecast for Boston is about 3 inches of snow Thursday p.m. into early Friday morning. But the wind, you'll notice that along with temperatures on Friday only being in the teens, so the wind chills will be below zero all day long, and that wind's going to blow and drift the snow that comes down and whatever's on the ground right now. We just heard from Mayor Marty Walsh of Boston, here in Boston, and he gave us the latest here on what's going on as far as the opening. School is open tomorrow. It's been closed for 9 days. Mass transit is opening up, at least most of mass transit. Bus service will be running, commuter rails. We're still checking on full service on the T, that's the subway, also the trolleys. The parking ban will remain in effect in Boston through 5 p.m. Wednesday, so they can continue the snow removal. This is more than just clearing. They've cleared it, but now they've got to do this. These streets, they've got to get this off the streets and open up some of these lanes. For instance, right here, we're missing a whole lane here in front of the Marriott Long Wharf. As far as the weather right now, not bad. 30 degrees. Off the average of 38, but this is what happens when you have some sunshine and 30 and salt. Look at this puddle of water. But at least we have bare surface. The cobblestones, the asphalt, the Mass Pike is fine. This has really helped out today, getting around on the major thoroughfares. Again, we'll keep you updated through the rest of the week. We're going to be here again ahead of the system. But I think most people, Paul Goodlow, not only here, but all the way down to Florida, will notice the chill in the air. Not so much the snow, but the chill in the air, like out in Worcester, where they've had over 90 inches of snow so far this season.
Yeah, 91, actually 91.4 officially, Mike. And speaking of Florida, it's going to cool down just in time for people here in Massachusetts to have winter break next week. Maybe they're heading to Florida and bring the cold air with them. Hey, I'm here outside the Beechwood Hotel, and I'm standing in easily 27, 28 inches deep of snow. In fact, we were trying to kind of clear a path last night. You might be wondering, hey, Goodlow, that's grass. It's artificial grass, so I'm not tearing up the turf here. That's good to know. But we tried last night with a much smaller snowblower, and take a look at our progress. That machine was way too small, so now we have a bigger machine, but here's the machine we're going to be trying to dig this out with, but because it's so small, we almost have to use a shovel as well and help kind of lead the way with the shovel, and then we got to fire up this bad boy. So I do know perhaps what I could be doing between live shots, earning some money, because if you're clearing snow here across Eastern Mass, you're making a bunch of money. There we go. Fire this puppy up. Try to make some headway here. I can get a little bit in there, but then the blade goes up because the snow is just simply too deep. You have to back up and try again. And slowly but surely, with some elbow grease, you make a little bit of progress. But overall, this is still a daunting task, and I've only really have cleared maybe maybe 2.5 feet. And I'm trying to get to the center, so we're going to try to keep doing that. This is just a microcosm of what most of eastern Massachusetts, Worcester, Boston, surrounding areas are dealing with, Carl. And as you can tell us, we could have even more snow, especially as we head on towards this weekend. Carl?
Paul, I am sort of amazed by that. That's a big old machine, and you are not really getting anywhere with that thing.
Nope, going nowhere slowly with that machine.
Wow, that really illustrates the challenges there across Massachusetts. Thank you so much, Paul. And fortunately, it looks like we may get more snow, but we're thinking now that the worst of the next couple of storms may possibly remain offshore. So we are cautiously optimistic at this point about that. Let's look at the mid-level energy coming down next several days here. So here we are Thursday going into Friday. That is the first storm that's going to come in. Storm number 2 is then going to move in on Sunday, and some of the modeling wanted to develop these lows very close to the coast, in which case we'd be talking about a major storm. Now, we're looking at the European model, and we're looking at low pressure in red and high pressure in blue. And so we're going to watch as low pressure develops Thursday and moves offshore and then is coming up towards Nova Scotia right in there. Now, that would mean that we'd still get a lot of wind. And obviously a lot of wind on top of all of what we've been through in Massachusetts is not going to be easy. But it would mean that the heaviest of snow would stay offshore. It would be a glancing blow. We'd get some snow, but not a tremendous amount of snow in that scenario. We take it further, look at the European model going into Sunday, and it shows this storm a little closer to the coast, so maybe a little more of an impact. But again, the very worst of the storm in this case would be offshore. So once again, we'll look at the European model. This time we're going to put the precip on. There's Friday. You see how the outer edge of that precip is right on the coast. That storm moves out, and then the second storm comes in, and we see a little more of the precip over into New England. So that would mean some heavier snow potentially in extreme southeastern New England, and maybe several inches there. So we certainly are not saying that you're out of the woods at this point. What we're saying is that it looks less likely that you're going to get the very worst of storms. And that really was the worry just yesterday. GFS model is similar, shows most of the weather offshore, Alex, for the next couple of storms. And so let's hope that that is the case. Back to you.
Let's hope. And, you know, let's take a break from winter and talk where we've actually got some warmth out in the west. Whole escape from winter. We've got record territory highs. We've got very warm highs across much of the west. Phoenix forecast for tomorrow 82. That'll be 1 degree away from the record. Portland, Oregon, you're forecast to tie your record. Same for Long Beach, California, and San Diego. 80 could get close to that record of 83. This is what we've got into the weekend. That ridge in that jet stream off towards the west, that's keeping the warm air in place. Of course, on the other side of the country, we are talking about the flip side, that dip in the jet stream offering up that Arctic air. But out west, highs 15 to 25 degrees above average. You see that even extends into parts of the central plains. Thursday highs 70s, even 80s. 87 in Los Angeles, 17 degrees above average. 60 in Salt Lake City, near 80 in Vegas, mid 60s in Portland, Oregon. And Saturday, you notice 66 in Denver, 63 in Salt Lake City, where we've got those much colder temperatures not too far off towards the east into parts of, say, Minnesota and Iowa. Salt Lake City, your average high this time of year is 41. You're in the 50s, even 60s as we go through the end of the week and weekend. Dave.
No snow on the ground in Salt Lake City, but when you have as much as we have in Boston, it's not just the sidewalks you have to worry about, it's your roof too. This is a hotel in Worcester, the Beechwood. They have a crew there with shovels, snow blowers, trying to get it clear on the roof.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mainly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
For those headaches that just aren't bad enough for a lot of medicine, there's new Excedrin Mild Headache. 35% less medicine, plus a booster to end everyday headaches fast.
Wow, my headache's gone.
Excedrin Mild Headache.
I have the flu with a runny nose. Better take something.
Theraflu Severe Cold won't treat your runny nose.
Really?
Alka-Seltzer Severe Cold and Flu relieves your worst flu symptoms plus runny nose.
Oh, what a relief it is.
Money! So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Well, they're not. Safelite emails a photo of the technician, so you know who to expect and how soon.
Right on time.
Why wait? Schedule now to get the Safelite Advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
These little doggies are great.
Come here, little doggy. Sit. How cool is that?
Not at all. What are you doing?
I'm training my little doggy.
Watch this. Get in my belly.
How could you?
A little dog with a big bite. Little doggy starting in $1.29. This is how you Sonic.
Everything in separate bins, people. Computers, shoes. You can't put two in one.
At Intel, they make technology that lets a device be a laptop and a tablet. So you can put two in one.
No, you can't.
Can.
Can't.
Can.
Intel. This is where it all changes.
See, it's like two things in one. You're like a mermaid or one of those horse guy people.
You mean like a centaur?
See, you can.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts, all for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
You know, some people have told me reverse mortgages sound too good to be true. I mean, you get cash out of your home, no monthly payments, and still own your home. There's got to be a catch, right, Jesse? Well, there isn't. It's like any other mortgage, only with a reverse mortgage, the loan's paid back when the last borrower leaves the home. In fact, reverse mortgages are based on a notion that President Reagan signed into law over 25 years ago in order to help seniors remain in their homes. If you're 62 or older and own your own home, you may qualify for a government-insured reverse mortgage with AAG that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. And with AAG, there are never any income or credit score requirements.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive a new free information kit, including a reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation.
AAG can help you pay off credit card debt, eliminate monthly mortgage payments, and provide some real retirement security.
Call 1-800-661-0312 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD.
In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free.
There's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement.
Call 1-800-661-0312 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-661-0312 now.
AAG, the best advice for a better life.
This is what a walk to school would have looked like for kids in Boston today, but if you guys were hoping for another snow day, bad news. The mayor says you are back in school tomorrow.
Well, today, Massachusetts governor said 500 National Guardsmen will deploy to Boston to help remove the snow. Now, 2 of the city's largest snowfalls on record have happened in just the past 2 weeks, and the city just can't keep up with it.
No, Jim Cantore has been there for both of those storms. He's got the latest.
Hey guys, we're in Beacon Hill and we just finished yet another snow burst, this one coming off the ocean, but the story's still the same. We've got cars on the side of the road completely buried here in the snow and really with no place to put it. This is just becoming a daunting task. People are out here with shovels. You know, every once in a while you'll drive by, all you'll see is like a half a windshield wiper sticking out. Snowbanks are piled huge, and cars occasionally are actually dug out where people can drive in and out of these things. But it's survival of the fittest here. If you don't don't leave a chair or something to denote that it's your parking space, you're going to lose it. That red truck we just went by, the gentleman earlier told me, that took him 4 hours yesterday and another 2 hours today before he got it out. So 6 hours worth of snow removal. Stop right here. Let's go ahead and actually see what we've got kind of beyond the pile here. I'm going to head on out and take a look. Is this a snow pile or is it a car? Let's find out. It looks like a car. Yep. A nice car, but one nonetheless that's buried under feet of snow. More snow in the forecast for Boston and bitterly cold temperatures heading into a Valentine's Day weekend. Reporting from Beacon Hill, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantore. Back to you.
Boy, that really brings it home.
Right.
Seeing him move through there at street level.
And looking at, I guess, what that car was, but we saw very little of it.
Yeah.
And just what they look like underneath all of that snow. Very difficult to make it out.
And then you've heard about roofs collapsing because of the weight of snow. There's something else that can happen on your roof that's almost unbelievable. It's called an ice dam. And they're a real risk. Here's how it works.
Yeah, when you get as much snow as you've had in New England, very, very possible that you could be dealing with these problems. So you have that snow falling on your roof.
Right.
Now the heat from inside your house up in your attic, that rises obviously to the attic and it begins to melt some of the lower layers of snow. So that water runs down into the gutters, but then during the evening, the overnight especially, we see that freeze.
So it freezes and that becomes the dam. Then everything above it, the snow, some of that melts, some of that refreezes, it can't drain.
But the water we have can't drain.
Right.
So it can go through cracks.
Cracks in the tiles, cracks in the roof, and it ends up as if we don't have enough to worry about.
Right, then you end up with water inside your house. So, you know, this snow really can cause a lot of problems and even some that you may not have thought of. I mean, that wouldn't be something I'd be worried about. You think roof collapse would be the most immediate issue, but these ice dams can also be a big problem getting into the interior walls. And you know, once you've got water inside the house, big problem.
No, thank you.
Well, just walking these sidewalks takes a lot of man hours these days in Boston. Take a look.
Yeah, they have to dig through snowbanks. 40 inches of snow in February alone means high piles, tall piles, and they're taller than a lot of people are. You can see them disappear right behind them.
Absolutely. Some of the newspapers, the media up in Boston have used sports figures, Boston sports figures, to measure the snow. And we've got about a Patriot's worth of snow.
This is what it looks like live here in Boston. It looks pretty tranquil, you know, from this angle, not from street level where Cantore was. It looks pretty easy, but
yeah,
it's
a whole different ball game if you're trying to navigate the streets, trying to maybe get some groceries. I would imagine some people are saying, all right, I'm just going to have to venture out because I'm out of supplies at this point. And Boston, we are not done with the snow yet, are we?
Now hang on here, right? We're going to get the latest coming up in our winter weather update at 50 past the hour. This is New York City. You skated by pretty much. It's pretty easy to get around in New York City if it ever is.
Right.
But,
yeah, your problems are more of a gridlock nature, right? The taxi cabs, all that traffic. But we are going to be watching the Northeast for another system. Now down in the ATL, you've got a little bit of warmth headed your way, but big changes coming from the end of the week.
Very little bit of warmth. No snow, but it'll be cold enough for snow even during the day this weekend.
Yeah, so enjoy today and tomorrow. Get ready.
Wow, I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergies start, doctors recommend taking one non-drowsy Claritin every day during your allergy season for continuous relief.
18 days. 17 days.
22 days of continuous relief.
Live Claritin Clear every day.
Hi, my name's Serena, and today is day 1 of my Hydroxycut transformation.
We're gonna live free.
I lost 30 pounds. Hydroxycut really works.
Hydroxycut is America's #1 selling weight loss supplement brand. Mix and match gummies, tablets, and drink mix.
Off and on throughout my life, I struggled with my weight, and Hydroxycut is the only thing that has worked for me.
Hydroxycut lets you lose weight your way. And go to hydroxycut.com to access the Be Thinner in 30-day starter plan.
Every Sunday night, we're taking our cameras to 14,000 feet.
This ain't a good place to make a mistake.
With these extreme fortune seekers.
Look how blue that is.
Gambling on the dig of their lives.
Get down now!
This is an absolute extreme situation.
If this is my last year on the mound, be a fine way to go out.
Season 3, Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mainly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I typed my name, and Ancestry opened the door to the world's largest online collection of family history records. Discover your story today at Ancestry.com.
Anyone have occasional constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating?
Yes.
One Phillips Colon Health probiotic cap each day helps defend against these occasional digestive issues with 3 types of good bacteria. Live the regular life. Phillips.
Don't miss Founders Days at Pep Boys, where you can get great deals all week long. Like when you buy 3 select tires, you'll get the 4th one free instantly. Plus, get special financing for 6 months when you sign up for the Pep Boys Car Care One credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Grandpa Bodie, Grandma said you used to be out of control.
Really? I guess I did take some risks. I trained a little bit differently. I was a little too honest sometimes. The media is useless.
You were out of control.
But not always.
Everything you love about NASCAR is back. Speed Weeks begins February 12th on Fox Sports 1.
Brought to you by the South Florida Mercedes-Benz dealers, featuring the Mercedes-Benz 2015 GLA and Mercedes-Benz 2015 C-Class, or go to mbsouthflorida.com.
Why do people invest? They invest for what's next. A college dream, a new priority, an active retirement. Whatever your goals are, we can help you invest for what's next. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
With the wrong wiper blades, you could be on the road to trouble. But with Michelin Stealth wiper blades, with SmartFlex technology and Smart Hinge exterior, you can see clear for the road ahead. Michelin Stealth, a better way forward. Get your Michelin wiper blades at Walmart.
By exposure to asbestos,
call 1-800-641-0818 now.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Okay, we're keeping an eye on a storm off the East Coast. This is your winter weather update. That's Raleigh, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, and deepening low pressure right here. The gurgling, the spinning, arguably some of the worst weather in the country right now. Norfolk, Virginia, it's raining. It's 33 degrees, and the wind is gusting to 37 miles an hour right out of the north. Could this become our next nor'easter? We don't believe that's going to happen. We believe that this storm, and by the way, it's related to the hail that fell in Atlanta yesterday. Same energy. It's stalled out now, but we expect it to move east off the East Coast. But there's another developing storm. Look out here, an area of swirl near Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's the one that's headed for the East Coast and will affect New England. Storm ravaged New England. How much more snow is in the cards for us? Let's turn it over to the lab. Carl Parker's there with Alex Wilson. Guys, what do you think?
Well, you know, we're preparing for it. And, you know, we're starting with a graphic that you mentioned. You showed us it yesterday. Very interesting, just the trends within the past 2 decades or so. Really, actually, the last decade as far as non-tropical storms and the frequency and the intensity of these.
Yeah, you know, you hear a lot of people saying, well, gosh, I've been living in Boston all my life, and I've never, ever seen 6 feet of snow in 2 weeks. That just seems really crazy. Well, there's actually something to that. And this is a study that was in the Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society in March of last year. And what it's showing is that by standard deviation, we are seeing a slow uptick in both the frequency and intensity of non-tropical storms in the mid-latitudes of the Northern Hemisphere. So when we look at the trend lines associated with this, we see that very clearly it's up. Now, what's interesting about this study is that even though you see that these trend lines are up, they're referring to this as moderate evidence. And it shows you how conservative scientists are. I mean, they're really reluctant to go all in on something.
And say, this is a trend, this is happening.
It's very hard to prove things in science, which is why when scientists say there's a problem, there really is a problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just because of their hesitancy to really go out there and be like, look, guys, this is happening, even with the evidence you're showing here.
Yeah, and so there's a lot that's going into this. There's more moisture in the atmosphere. There's more instability as a function of that. And then you've got this real waviness in the jet stream. And so you see this very high amplitude pattern with very strong storms developing.
Which is what we've had
Which is exactly what we've had. And it's exactly what we're going to see coming up here in the next couple of days. So we know that there are going to be very strong storms developing. The question is, how close to the coast are they going to be? And so what we've got here is a representation of the low pressure in the atmosphere. How strong is that low pressure going to be? There's the developing low, and then it gets going off the coast and bombs out, just as Dave was talking about, south of Nova Scotia. And right now, it looks like we're going to be on the periphery of the influence of this storm. Now, with a storm that strong, you're going to get a lot of wind. But the question is, are we going to get much snow? And it's looking more and more like it's going to be far enough east that we don't get a whole lot of snow out of at least this Friday storm. But then there's another one behind that. There's the second storm developing very much in the same area, Wallops, Nova Scotia. We're on the edge of it there. Does that mean we get some heavier snow? It is possible, looks a little more possible that we get some snow there in extreme southeastern New England, but that could include Boston. So we're not ready to say it's not going to be a big deal at this point. It's just looking more and more like it's going to be farther offshore. That's the trend.
Wind could be an issue with this one, even if the precip necessarily isn't, and with all that snow on the ground. Yikes.
That's not what we want to hear.
No.
I know. It's just not what we want to hear. So here's the European model. We put the precip on in green, and it's largely going to be snow. In this case, the rain-snow line is well off to the south and to the east. That's the first storm that just grazes the coast on the European model. And then here is the second storm, which has a little more impact. You see how it's a little farther inland there on Sunday morning. And so, you know, maybe you're talking about some heavier snow in extreme southeastern Massachusetts. In that case, that's the way the European model sees it, and there's a fair amount of ensemble support for that. Now, the GFS model is pretty similar about the first storm, showing that it's mostly offshore, and then with the second storm, it shows that it too is mostly offshore, but there is not as much ensemble support for this idea. The ensembles of the GFS are actually closer to the European model. Bottom line, we still got a little while to figure it out, and we're going to continue to watch it.
We will. Thank you so much, Carl. Dave, back to you.
Okay, so what's really behind all this snow? Can we blame it on climate change? Our experts are dissecting the science of this unusual weather. We'll be back right after this.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mainly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. High 74. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Now on Weather Center Live, another roof collapse near Boston.
Heavy snow is piling up, and now 2 more storms are in the forecast. Mike Seidel anchors our live coverage there. Mike.
That's not what they want to hear here in Boston. Look at these mounds of snow. They've had even more snow in Worcester. Let's check in with Paul Goodlow out on the Mass Pike there west of here.
The most snow in the country right here in Worcester. I've made some headway in this path, but also breaking news here, something we haven't seen in a while. Blue sky is starting to break through here in eastern Massachusetts. More coming up on Weather Center Live.
Boy, Worcester has to love that blue sky, right?
Yeah, really. Anybody in the Northeast,
yes.
Right? Hey, welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Dave Schwartz along with Alex Wilson.
And the problems for Boston, parts of the Northeast, really New England, just keep coming. This roof collapse, just one of many reported around the state this afternoon. It's the latest blow to a city digging out from record-breaking snow.
Here are some new statistics to put us all into perspective. No wonder we're so fatigued. Snow's been reported 14 of the last 18 days in Boston. Snowing about 39% of the time on hourly observations. And there's your snowfall total for the last 18 days.
72 inches.
And look how short a time it took to get there. You know, the old record was 45 days.
Right.
To get 70 inches of snow. This year, almost a third.
Yeah,
of
just
that.
over 2 weeks. Hard to believe. Like 2.5 weeks, you have more snow than I think I am tall.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. Hey, our own Mike Seidel. I think the snow might be as tall, if not a smidge taller than you too, right?
Oh, by far, I'm only about 6 feet on a good day, and this is up about 8 feet, and we've got piles around town higher than this. And the question is, where does it all go? Well, they're actually dumping it into harbor. They've got special exception this time around. They haven't done that since '09. They don't like to do that because the snow that they dump has salt and other contaminants in it. But when it becomes this severe, they have to put it somewhere. They have 5 snow farms that they're using, and they're melting it at 430 tons, or actually they're carrying 430 tons an hour out of the city to the snow farms and dumping some of that in the harbor and the local waterways. So that's how they're trying to fight this battle. At least today they're getting some help. It's not snowing anymore. Temperature right now is at 30 degrees, so it's relatively comfortable out here, still off the average of 38. And notice the streets have kind of slushed up and we've had some melting out here. That's good if it's been salted and plowed. The other issue is all the snow is putting extreme pressure on roofs, especially the ones that are flat or have a very low pitch. Here's another roof collapse here in Metro Boston. We've had a fair amount of these south of here because with this particular storm Marcus down there, the temperatures on the other side of the coastal front were in the low 30s, whereas here most of the snow fell at 10 to 12 degrees colder. So this is something you need to be concerned with, whether you have a business or you're at home, safely, maybe a professional. Don't just get up on a ladder, but somehow try to get some of that snow off the roof in the days and weeks to come, because eventually it's going to get warm. And if we get a rainstorm on top of this, Carl Parker, that would be disastrous. We'll hope for a slow melt in the days and weeks to come. In the meantime, melting really not an option. In the next week or so, we've got 2 clippers and 2 Arctic air masses you're going to talk about.
Yeah, plenty of cold air, and we're looking at a couple of big storms here. So the question is just how close to the coast are these storms going to be? And let's begin with the pattern, which really does not want to change. It's sort of remarkable the way that even though we get a little bit of change now and again, the pattern always manages to revert. And you've got this tremendous ridge in the atmosphere right out there along the west coast. That's why it's been so dry there. We're not getting any weather coming into the west. Normally, Usually, when you get into the winter months, you see storms driving into California. This is the time of year when they expect to get that, but you've got this exaggerated pattern, and very much like a seesaw, you've got one part that's up and another part that's down there across the Northeast, and it just does not want to go away. Now, we take this forward a little bit into the next couple of days. We've got another big burst of cold air coming down. It's still relatively warm over the water of the Atlantic, and that helps these areas of low pressure to get going. Notice the kink in the upper flow right there. So that's the first storm that's going to get going on Friday. Then behind that, another big blast of cold drops down right through the lakes into the Northeast. Again, we see that pronounced kink in the flow, and that is that storm developing, the second storm developing on Sunday. But we are right now, cautiously optimistic that we're not going to get the very worst of these storms. So we'll take the model forward. This is the European model looking at Friday morning at 6 a.m. And this is all precip types in green, and it's basically all snow because we've got so much cold air in place. And so what the European model is telling us is that the very worst of this storm would be offshore in this case. And whereas in previous runs it actually showed that we might be in for the worst of the storm, now it's taking it more offshore. And so we're just getting a glancing blow on Friday morning with that first storm. Then we find the second one coming in, developing over the lakes, really blowing up in that area where they like to blow up, that sort of favored zone where there's a lot of contrast between relatively warm Atlantic Ocean water and the very cold air that's coming down from Canada. And the second storm could potentially have a little more of an impact. At least that's the way it's looking in the modeling right now. That's the European model. So we'll look at snowfall, and this is the snowfall through late Sunday from the European model. And you notice slightly higher amounts there in extreme southeastern New England, so that could have an impact on the areas where we've had so much problem already. GFS model showing that first storm mostly offshore and the second storm mostly offshore. So we will continue to refine that forecast. Dave, over to you.
That would be a blessing. Thanks a lot, Carl. You know, it's cold out there. It's 30 in Boston with all that snow on the ground. Philadelphia, no snow on the ground. It's 40. And here in D.C., certainly no snow on the ground. Buffalo, you haven't heard much from them since the start of the season when they got all that lake effect snow. 23 inches of snow on the ground in Buffalo. It's 20 degrees. So it's cold, and the atmosphere is structured to keep it cold. Another batch of cold air coming south into the Dakotas. Wind advisories in effect right now. That heads to the East Coast on Friday. Then the next storm helps to yank another shot of cold air, and this one will make it all the way into South Florida on Sunday. So here's a look at high temperatures. 10 Buffalo on Friday, huh? And there's a brief warm up to 45, still a couple of degrees below average here in D.C. And then here comes that next shot. So we go from way below average to slightly below average. The whole time, though, we are below average. Boston, for example, our average high, 38 degrees. And here in New York City, the average high 41, not even close. Hey, you interested in the local on the 8s? It's coming up right after this.
Don't miss the Princess Cruises 50th anniversary sale. Our biggest sale ever. Save up to $500 per person. Everywhere we sail, all around the world. Call your travel consultant or 1-800-PRINCESS. Princess Cruises. Come back new.
Wow, I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergies start, doctors recommend taking one non-drowsy Claritin every day during your allergy season for continuous relief.
18 days.
12 days.
24 days of continuous relief. Live Claritin Clear every day.
When John Huntsman was diagnosed with cancer, he didn't just vow to beat it.
I vowed to eradicate it from the earth.
So he founded Huntsman Cancer Institute. Everything about it would be different. It would feel different, look different.
And fight cancer in new and different ways.
With the largest genetic database on Earth that combines 300 years of family histories with health records to treat, predict, and in many cases, prevent cancer.
We made it welcoming and warm with a focus on beauty, serenity, and getting on with life.
Huntsman Cancer Institute is the only cancer hospital in the world designed by a patient with the vital understanding that cancer moves fast.
And we have to move faster.
To learn more or support the cause, go to huntsmancancer.org.
Atlantic Beach, Florida.
Oh, love it.
Houma, Louisiana.
Oh, fantastic food. Carefree, Arkansas.
Been there.
Looneyville, Texas.
Done that. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Phil and I go way back. Love that little animal.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mainly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
With Crizal No Glare lenses, neither scratch, nor smudge, nor glare of night can keep you from the clearest vision possible. Plus, Crizal gives you the most comprehensive UV protection. Crizal No Glare lenses. Live life in the clear.
Sir, we're going to need you on the runway later.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back. Get Theraflu with the power of 3 medicines to take on your worst pain and fever, cough, and nasal congestion. It breaks you free from your toughest cold and flu symptoms. Theraflu, serious power.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One-A-Day Women's, complete with key nutrients we may need, plus it supports physical energy with B vitamins. One-A-Day Women's.
Attention, hip replacement recipients. If you had metal-on-metal hip replacement and suffered serious injuries or revision surgery, you may be entitled to a cash award. DePuy ASR and Stryker Rejuvenate and other hip replacement devices have been under FDA review. The FDA is aware of failures and dangers of all metal hip replacements and has raised concerns about high metal concentration in patients. Common injuries include early failure of the device, metal blood poisoning, bone fracture, dislocation, tissue damage from metal debris, and hip pain. If you had a DePuy ASR, Stryker Rejuvenate, or other metal-on-metal hip replacement implant and suffered serious injury or revision surgery, you may be entitled to a cash award. Time is limited. Call the number on your screen if you suffered serious injuries or revision surgery from your metal-on-metal hip replacement implant.
Call 1-855-262-8439 now. That's 1-855-262-8439.
You think you're working hard? Well, look at this. 10-hour shifts for these plow drivers. This is in Worcester, Massachusetts. 10 more inches of snow from Marcus yesterday, and these guys have been working like crazy.
That is money right there.
Right? Yeah.
This is the time of year they're making it.
Oh, they love to see it. So all the moms, the dads that are out there saying, you know what, guys, I can't be home with you because I'm out plowing. You're going to maybe hopefully be able to take a nice trip in the summer to get away from all this snow and use some of your cash.
Our own meteorologist, Paul Goodlow, is in Worcester, Mass, and he was trying to make a few extra bucks with a small plow.
Right, I
Paul,
like to think he's charging the residents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucker's got some power. 357 cc overhead cam snow thrower by Yard Machine. So definitely it was a big help here. I definitely made some progress. Let me show you what I've done here. I've actually been able to plow, and it took me a while to do this. We last talked to you about a half hour ago, so we made some progress. We're going to make a little left turn here at Albuquerque and try to head back towards our little hideout up there. We're going to have refuge indoors as the sun goes down and it gets kind of colder. But I definitely had to do a little shoveling and then snow blowing because this thing is way too high. The snow is too deep. But I was doing that. I discovered a pretty cool thing. So, you know, I stick it in here, I pull it out, and it kind of pulls out in distinct little levels and ranges. So right here, there's a distinct harder layer that the shovel has hit. and you measure that, that's basically about, say, 8 or 9 inches of snow. That's basically the snow that is compacted since it stopped snowing yesterday. So that's the snow from Marcus. Below that is probably the snow from Linus. So all this snow, almost like a tree ring, that all sets up. And again, all this stuff compacts too. So even though we had, I think, 13 or 14.4 officially here in Worcester, all that snow compresses because there's a lot of air in there. So, and also the weight of that as well continues to press this down and makes it more and more dense. Hence, it's also a lot harder to dig out and shovel. Hence the importance of trying to dig out the fire hydrants and your cars and your sidewalks now, because the more this stuff sets up, the more it turns to a solid sheet of ice. When all that air from the fluffy stuff goes out, it becomes rock hard. So definitely kind of cool, kind of geek out little science of having the distinct little layers of snow here and kind of go back in history and remember, oh yeah, I remember that snowstorm. We didn't have school that day. Oh yeah, that snowstorm. I lost $100. I couldn't go to work. Oh, that, yeah. It's kind of reminiscing over this so far very snowy, only half winter of 2015. Alex?
Absolutely, Paul. You can curse the different layers of snow, right, as you're shoveling them. Darn you, Linus! Thank you so much, Paul. Hey, I don't have great news for folks in the Northeast if you're done with the snow. If you love the snow, you're going to love this story. We've got more snow ahead for parts of the Northeast, at least we think we do. 3 weekends in a row, though, you have had snow reported at Logan International. That current snow depth, 37 inches, so over 3 feet of snow right now on the ground. We've got a second clipper moving through this weekend, and as Carl was showing us, that strong coastal storm develops very similar to what we've seen those other systems do that have brought some heavy snow to the area. Now, just how far east or how far west it sets up will determine how much snow we see. Saturday, it looks like snow from D.C., really in Philly and New York. Boston, you're probably not going to see the snow arrive until Saturday night. So late day is when you see the snow showers move in, sticks around through the overnight and even into Sunday. Still coastal sections of Massachusetts and Maine could see that snow, so we're going to be watching that very closely. In addition to the snow, frigid temps, highs only in the low teens by Sunday. We'll be right back.
All cars are racing against time. Some are just doing better than others. Save 25% on durable Firestone Destination LE2 tires for your SUV at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, Firestone.
Heartburn. Did someone say burn? Try Alka-Seltzer Relief Chews. They work just as fast and are proven better than Tums Smoothies assorted fruit.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Chews. Enjoy the relief.
If you've ever wondered how you're going to survive another harsh winter, or stay dry from torrential rain showers, or savor the last warm rays of sun, step inside the Jeep Grand Cherokee and wonder no more. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $349 a month.
With psoriatic arthritis, I had intense joint pain that got worse and worse. Then my rheumatologist prescribed Enbrel. I'm Phil Mickelson, pro golfer. Enbrel helps relieve pain and stop joint damage. I've been on the course and on the road.
Enbrel may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events, including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, nervous system and blood disorders, and allergic reactions have occurred. Before starting Enbrel, your doctor should test you for tuberculosis and discuss whether you've been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. You should not start Enbrel if you have an infection like the flu. Tell your doctor if you're prone to infections, have cuts or sores, have had hepatitis B, have been treated for heart failure, or if you have symptoms such as persistent fever, bruising, bleeding, or paleness.
Enbrel helped relieve my joint pain, but the best part of every journey is coming home.
Ask if Enbrel, the #1 biologic medicine prescribed by rheumatologists, can help you stop joint damage.
Thrilled to have Jim Cantore on the show. He's been through like 80 tropical systems.
So we've got like 60 years of experience here. And that's just Sam.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Why do people invest? They invest for what's next. That could be a college dream, a new priority, an active retirement. Whatever next is, it takes smart investments managed by experts who actively spot risks and opportunities. Franklin Templeton has been doing that for over 65 years, helping millions of investors achieve what's next. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
And commitment to go the distance with you. Call now to request your free decision guide.
Sunday night. Get down now! Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We got to deal with the snow. We're going to plow it. It's going to melt eventually. So that's the way I look at things.
Snow keeps falling, crews keep plowing. You know, Worcester Place now the snowiest, or Worcester, Mass, now the snowiest place in America this year. Maybe there is a Worcester Place and that street is especially snowy.
It probably is, and they have the snowiest mass in Massachusetts.
Absolutely.
Well, check this out. Most snowfall in a 14, 20, and 30-day period. All those records have been reset this year in Worcester, Mass.
Since December 1st, they have had the third highest amount of snow on record, nearly 85 inches, just a smidge away.
That's more than Boston. And the seasonal snowfall total now is approaching 8 feet, 92.1 inches.
Get them in that Golden Snowball Award over into New York State. I mean, they do really well.
Yeah, and New York's gotten hit a lot too. You know, we just haven't been mentioning that here. Rochester's got 17 inches of snow on the ground right now. You know, it's been a very busy winter for snowplow operators all over the place, and they can't seem to keep up with the snowfall from the succession of one winter storm after another.
Our Dave Malkoff went to the snowiest city in the U.S., Worcester, Massachusetts, and he hitched a ride with the Snowplow Kings.
Oh.
At hour 10 for these snowplow drivers, this shift and this winter will not stop. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
Hi.
It's a tight fit in here. What do I do, close this?
Yep.
It's Andy Desrosa's job to clear this shopping center. Oh, look at that. One chunk at a time.
Seems like it's been snowing every other day for about 2 weeks.
We took a look nationwide at cities with 100,000 people or more, and at 90 inches plus this season, Worcester, Mass is now the nation's snowiest city.
Yeah, as soon as you finish and you look back and you already have to do it again.
Problem is, they're still pushing it away as fast as it's coming down heavy. This one truck can lift the weight of a 4-ton truck and the volume of an average-sized bedroom. Still, that ain't enough. Now, of course, emergency vehicles need to be out in this. Most everyone else
probably shouldn't be out unless they need to be.
Mike Keating, I'm the owner of Keating Enterprises Incorporated. Snowplow operation, obviously.
Mike Keating runs a company with 10 plows and 10 loaders, plus a few rentals.
And the worst thing are the people walking down a main street with the headphones on, which is just nuts.
These last few weeks have dumped the most snow his company has plowed in 47 years. For Mike, this is a bigger job than the Great Blizzard of 1978. Then again, some of this technology and, honestly, some of these drivers weren't around around in 78.
There's been an evolution of snowplow operations since 78.
All Mike's horsepower and all Mike's men aren't enough to put Worcester back together again. Only the sun can do that.
We got to deal with the snow. We're going to plow it. It's going to melt.
So you're thinking, why don't we just, you know, kind of make a trip down to the relatives in Birmingham, Alabama, or Atlanta, Georgia, Memphis, Tennessee? Well, you're not going to get away from the cold there either. You'll get away from all that snow for sure. That's restricted to the southern Appalachians. But look at the temperatures we're forecasting for Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, and Mobile. This would be on Sunday morning. Our forecast is getting close to record territory here, down to 13 in Nashville on Sunday morning. So here we go. The same setup that keeps it super cold in the Midwest and the Northeast dumps occasional cold air into the deep south, all the way into Florida, especially this next batch. So here we go, my friend. High temperatures on Friday. Notice the triangles pointing down, below average. What about the West? Stay tuned for that story.
Let's go from our little girl to all grown up. Let's say out with the old and in with the options, like that one, or those, with features like this. Let's get exactly what we imagined for less than we thought, and turn a modest budget into a majorly stylish bath. New bathroom, no problem. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Shop stylish vanities in-store and online.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Looks like 20 feet.
At Intel, they have this technology. You can take a picture and measure the distance before you jump.
Intel, this is where it all changes.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our Angie's List app. Visit angieslist.com today.
Breaking news from the world of weight loss, and this time there's a Hollywood twist. Dr. Sears from TV's The Doctors has discovered a way to lose up to 5 pounds in just 3 days.
If you feel fat, bloated, sluggish, unhealthy, you can change it all in just 3 days with the most effective healthy weight loss program I have ever seen. It's called the 3-Day Refresh, when I show America that it is possible to lose weight and feel great by eating delicious meals and drinking decadent chocolate shakes, and you do in just 3 days, it's going to change a lot of lives.
I just finished the 3-Day Refresh program and I lost 5 pounds and 2.5 inches off my hips. I feel amazing.
I lost 7 pounds. 3 days. 3 days. I lost 7 pounds.
I lost 12 pounds in 3 days, and I feel fantastic. If you're wondering what the 3-Day Refresh can do for you, well, you don't have to wonder. You can try it for yourself, absolutely risk-free. And here's how.
Stop spending hundreds of dollars on those expensive juice fasts that can damage your body. Call now to get the entire 3-Day Refresh program. That's a $280 value for only $120. That's already an amazing deal. But wait, the first 500 callers will get an additional $50 off. That's right. Call now and the 3-Day Refresh is now only $69.95. Order now and Dr. Sears is even backing your purchase with his Gold Seal 30-day money-back guarantee. Plus, call in the next 10 minutes and you'll even get a free upgrade to Express Delivery. That's a $15 value free. That means the 3-Day Refresh will be delivered to your front door in just 2 to 5 days. Guaranteed. So you can lose 3 pounds, 5 pounds, or even more by next weekend. Here's how to get yours and save $50.
Call 1-800-875-1657 or go online to 3dayrefresh.com. 1-800-875-1657. Order now.
Atlantic Beach, Florida.
Oh, love it.
Houma, Louisiana.
Oh, fantastic food. Carefree, Arkansas.
Been there.
Looneyville, Texas.
Done that. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Phil and I go way back. Love that little animal.
Jim Cantori, now on AMHQ. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
I like the snow. I wish it was all snow.
I'm tired of it. Somewhere warm on a beach.
I'll take snowy over cold.
When do you get to ski down the center of the street? We love snow.
Good thing, because you gotta love it to love what's happening in the Boston area and other parts of the Northeast and New England. Welcome back to Weather Center Live on this Tuesday. I'm Alex Wilson.
And I'm Dave Schwartz. You know, the resort operators in the tropics must be loving this.
Yeah.
There must be bookings for Miami and the Dominican Republic every day.
I like to think that Southwest, American, all those airlines are just blasting people up in the Northeast with great deals to all of those destinations.
Hey, I'm Dave Schwartz. Good to see you. Boston leads the world now in flight cancellations today. There have been over 50 of them so far at Logan Airport.
And if you have plans to fly this weekend, you better keep an eye on the forecast. Mike Seidel is there. He might be in Boston for a while. And Mike, what are you hearing from people there about the chance for more snow moving forward?
Whoa, wait a minute. I'm thinking Punta Cana, Puerto Plata.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, there we go.
The República Dominicana. That's right. My wife, I've been down there so many times. My wife lived there, but boy, I can tell you, when you get snow like this, you got to think of the Caribbean. And Florida's going to get some of this cold air, and we're going to see 40s down in South Florida. But back here, the locals don't want to see any more snow. They know we've got some more coming. Thursday night and Friday morning, the storm's going to develop far enough offshore. It's going to blow up. We'll get the wind, but right now we're thinking about 3 inches here in the city, a little bit more out on the Cape. School tomorrow is finally open after being closed for the past, almost virtually for the past 2 weeks. Mass transit opens tomorrow. They're going to be running on a modified weekday schedule. That's about 70% of the trolleys, trains, and subways. So check with MBTA, their website and Twitter. But the Plymouth, TF Green, and Wickford Junction stations will not be open tomorrow. The parking ban remains in effect tomorrow until 5 p.m. They want to continue the snow removal in the city of Boston. And as far as bus service, that's running tomorrow. So things are going to be getting closer to normal tomorrow. Meanwhile, the hardworking crews across the state here in the city of Boston, the governor thanked them today.
Let me start by thanking everyone who's been driving a plow, pushing a shovel, clearing out a driveway or a sidewalk, or working to keep our 24-hour facilities open or checking on neighbors over the course of the past 2 weeks. Historic storms, historic snowfalls, unprecedented times, which call in many cases for unprecedented action. We need to get the Commonwealth back to work, and we need to get our kids back to school.
Here in the city of Boston, they have plowed, if you count all the road trips, all the roads, all the miles, 230,000 miles so far. That's basically the trip and the distance from here to the moon. So a little snow, Thursday night, Friday morning, then the wind and the wind chill and the blowing snow will get you here in Boston Friday. Let's go out to Worcester. Paul Goodlow, a couple things. First of all, I watched you try to blow snow out there. A couple things here. Number one, let the professionals do it, Paul. Number two, keep your day job.
Actually, sometimes it's a day job, sometimes it's a night job. You know how it is, Mike. You know, at least it's it's
I know.
what we love to do, which is out here in the weather all hours of the night doing this job here. And you're right, you definitely want the professionals to do this, and they are definitely making up for, you know, earlier in the year where they're waiting for snow. Over the last 16, 17 days, we picked up 80-something inches of snow here in Worcester alone. The last 9 days, or I should say the first 9 days of the month of February. Over 36 inches of snow. As you mentioned, yes, I had the snowblower out. We've kind of hit a wall between myself and Dave Malkoff. We've been in the last 2 days. We've been packing and standing on this, so all this snow, which was about 2.5 feet, is compressed down to almost rock-solid ice, and this is something that the snowblower will not even do. Even this shovel is not a match for this. In fact, I'm going to kind of try to step back over here behind the snowblower and show you the example. If I actually get down to the bare ground here, there's still knee-deep snow everywhere around me, including on top of the roof of this building here, the Beechwood Hotel. We have video. They actually put a much smaller snowblower up there today because they had to unload some of that weight of all this snow, which is now turning to ice, sitting on that roof already. Numerous reports of roofs being compromised and even buildings collapsing because of this extra weight that here in Worcester, over 91 inches of snow so far this year is putting on buildings all across this region of New England. Carl?
Paul, thank you so much. And we're wondering, of course, whether or not we're going to get another storm there across New England. And the big question is, how exactly is this system going to shape up? Is it going to be right on the coast, or is it going to be farther offshore? Yesterday, it was sort of difficult to tell. And the trend has been in the last day to move the systems a little more offshore. So we are now, I would say, cautiously optimistic that we won't get the very worst of the impacts from either the Friday storm or the Sunday storm. And here's a look at the mid-level energy that's coming down on those days. First of all, going into Friday, pretty strong mid-level storm showing up there, and then you've got that again on Sunday. In fact, a broader storm moving in on Sunday. So here's what the models are saying about that. Now, we've got precip on there in green, so that is the snow. This is late Thursday. The low getting much, much stronger, as we've seen so many times before. So unlike this last storm, which really wasn't a real strong parent storm, this storm would likely bring an awful lot of wind there into southeastern Massachusetts and across a lot of New England. Even if we don't get that much snow, we're going to get the wind because this low is going to be so strong as it's slowly pulling away and moving up into the Canadian Maritimes. That is Friday, 6 a.m. That's the European model. That storm then moves out. Next one comes in across the lakes, begins to blow up, as we have seen so many times before, feeding on that contrast between the colder air coming down from Canada and the relatively warm air that's coming up from the Atlantic Ocean and getting into that area of low pressure. Now, the European model does bring a little more of this storm onshore on Sunday, so that could potentially mean some heavier snow in southeastern New England in particular, if that were to happen. And we shall see what happens. There's a fair amount of support for that in the ensembles. Now, the GFS model is very similar to the European model with this first storm. Strong low, a lot of wind, precip mostly offshore. But then with the second storm, it's also a little more offshore. So there's still a lot to figure out yet. And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, Alex, if we can get a break. Finally, back to you.
Absolutely. And if you need a break immediately, you need some heat, head out west. They are not talking about winter at all. Above average temps, the norm, even some in record territory. Look at highs tomorrow. Forecasting 82 in Phoenix. The record is 83. We're forecasting record ties in Portland and Long Beach and San Diego. You're going to be within 2 degrees of your record in the low 80s. That frigid air and that jet stream dip off into parts of the east. We've got that warm air underneath that ridge out west, and and that is translating to highs 15 to 25 degrees above average for much of the west, even getting into parts of the central U.S. Look at these Thursday highs. 70s for San Fran and Las Vegas, mid-80s in Los Angeles. By Friday, 60 in Salt Lake City, 62 in Denver, 64 Portland. Saturday, once again, temps well above average, 20 degrees above the mark for Salt Lake City and for Denver as we start up the weekend. So Salt Lake City, what's your average? 41 degrees. Tomorrow, 54. We're going upper 50s, low 60s through the rest of the 5-day. And another spot, Denver, well above that average high of 45 with highs into the 60s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine. High 74. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 52. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Average work pants versus a grab-happy grizzly. Duluth fire hose work pants versus a grab-happy grizzly. Duluth Trading fire hose work pants, tougher than a grizzly's grope. Get a pair, only at DuluthTrading.com.
What makes it an SUV is what you can get into it. What makes it an NX is what you can get out of it. Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
If you can't see in time, you can't stop in time. Your safety is absolutely dependent on first having quality wiper blades. If you have traditional rubber blades, then listen. Heat cracks them, freezing tears them. Road salt and chemicals create grooves and fissures. The result? Streaking, skipping, missed spots, and chattering. I'm about to show you the first true wiper innovation in 100 years. Invisible Glass Instant Fit Silicone Wiper Blades. Invisible Glass Silicone blades are virtually impervious to heat. They can withstand temperatures down to 80 below. Each blade has a protective housing and is supported by a stainless steel superstructure, delivering smooth, even wiping quality. Invisible Glass blades are shipped right to your house, free for 30 days. Just pay the low shipping. See clearly no matter what the weather with Invisible Glass wipers.
Call 1-800-611-5478. Just pay $9.95 S&P. Order now.
No, I understand better than most that Washington doesn't come together on much, and it seems like it's even harder for them to get something right. But recently they did both. The new Reverse Mortgage Stabilization Act makes the reverse mortgage loan program even stronger. They ensured the stability of this important financial tool because they recognize the benefits a reverse mortgage can bring to millions of American seniors. It provides you with greater protection, more flexibility, and more confidence in your retirement.
Call 1-800-660-9362 now for your free information kit, including a complete reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from real borrowers, and a helpful family guide. Call 1-800-660-9362 for your free info kit today.
The fact is, a reverse mortgage is a proven way to turn your home's equity into cash. It's that simple. Facts usually are. You see, there's a lot of money just sort of sitting in your home, and AAG can help you use that equity to pay off some bills, eliminate your existing mortgage, fund your retirement, live a better life.
Call 1-800-660-9362 now to receive an info kit, including a reverse mortgage guide, DVD, and a new family guide. Call 1-800-660-9362.
AAG offers a range of reverse mortgages, and they'll help you find the one that best suits your family's needs. You can even get a line of credit that grows over time and allows you to use the money whenever you need it. Makes a lot of sense to me. Get all the facts. In the kits, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories told by people just like you who've had their lives changed forever using a reverse mortgage. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones. Today's reverse mortgages are safer and smarter than ever. And that's a fact. AAG, the best advice for a better life.
Call 1-800-660-9362.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. A couple of Boston snow numbers for you. 23.8 inches. That was from Winter Storm Marcus. 78 inches. That's the snowfall for the season in Boston. In the last 3 weeks, we've had 2 of the 7 biggest snowstorms in the city's recorded history. Many of you are asking us, is this global warming? And joining me to talk about these issues are Weather Underground climate expert Dr. Jeff Masters and the Deputy Director of the Climate Change Science Institute, Dr. Benjamin Preston. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to start off with a quote from UCAR Dr. Kevin Trenberth. He said, "The often asked question of whether an event is caused by climate change is the wrong question. All weather events are caused by climate change because the environment in which they occur is warmer and moister than it used to be." Dr. Masters, how does an increase in moisture relate to these spectacular snowstorms in Boston?
The oceans are warmer, which means that more moisture evaporates off the ocean and goes into these storms. And when that moisture gets into the storms, then it condenses and releases the heat that it gained in the first place. And that helps power the storms, makes the winds stronger, helps create stronger updrafts, which can create those thunder snows, which 2 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates like we get in these very intense snowstorms.
So in a warmer world, you would expect that we would get stronger snowstorms or heavier snows?
There's always going to be plenty of cold air up in Canada flowing down southwards to meet the warm air coming up from the ocean. So yes, if it's cold enough to snow, if you've got more moisture in the air, you potentially could have stronger snowstorms.
All right, Dr. Preston, we've heard some frustration from Boston officials over the last couple of days. If we get more and more of these big events, is it going to be enough for us to respond as we always have, mostly on a local level?
Well, I think action at the local level is critical, and we're seeing that right now. But to enable action at the local level requires action by other parties. So that means state government, federal government, to some extent the private sector needs to be involved, as do individual households. So the key is really how we get all these different actors to work together in a coordinated way to build resilience, get resources to the right place at the right time.
All right, and Dr. Masters, it's been so cold for so long in Boston. Some people wonder how it is that we can have brutal winters if the planet is getting warmer, and how does the upper wind flow relate to this?
We have to understand that the brutal winter that's happening in the Northeast is not happening everywhere. Over in the western U.S., we've had some record highs over the past few weeks. Places like San Francisco and Salt Lake City have seen the warmest temperatures ever recorded for so early in the year. And what's going on is that jet stream has taken on a very unusually amplified shape. We've got extreme low pressure over the Northeast, extreme high pressure over the West. And if you kind of average things out, well, then the temperatures don't seem so extreme over the larger planet.
Yeah, I think another interesting fact is that the United States, the continental United States, occupies about 2% of the entire surface area of the globe. It's not very much of the planet.
Yeah, and last year was the warmest year on record, averaged over the entire globe. But if you look at the U.S., that was one of the cool spots. It just wasn't that cool everywhere else.
Dr. Preston, in general, we expect the government to solve big issues, but if they don't or can't, how do households need to learn to adapt to these new threats?
Yeah, great question. I think first and foremost, households need to know the risk. A case in point is we look at flood risk in the United States. Often after a flood event, we find households where individuals didn't know they were living in a floodplain, or they didn't know that they weren't insured for flood risk. So step one is just understanding your vulnerability. And then step two, as we always say, be prepared. So think ahead a bit about these events, listen to your local authorities and the warnings that they're giving, and make sure you have resources on hand and a plan to get through and cope with these types of extremes.
And one last question for either of you. There's been a very troubling trend towards the rejection of science, most recently with vaccinations for quite a while in climate. Could you talk about the level of work that goes into scientific research?
You know, science is constructed so that a very high value is placed on truth. If you don't make the right results, you're not going to get published.
And Dr. Preston?
Yeah, well, I think a scientist, lives and dies by their credibility, but we can't demand credibility. Credibility has to be earned over time by doing good science.
All right. Doctors Jeff Master and Ben Preston, thank you so much for your time as we continue to try to find some answers here to this very, very challenging question.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
My lenses have a sunset mode, and an early morning mode, and a partly sunny mode, and an outside to clear inside mode.
Transition's signature adaptive lenses are more responsive than ever. So why settle for a lens with just one mode? Experience life well lit. Upgrade your lenses to Transition's signature. Visit your local VisionWorks today to ask about Transition's signature lenses with Chromia 7 technology and start living a life well lit.
Every Sunday night, we're taking our cameras to 14,000 feet.
This ain't a good place to make a mistake.
With these extreme fortune seekers.
Look how blue that is!
Gambling on the dig of their lives.
Get down now!
This is an absolute extreme situation.
If this is my last year on the mound, be a fine way to go out.
Season 3, Prospectors, the $1 Million Mountain. Sundays at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The way we see it, after a heavy snowfall, you have two options. You can stay inside or get behind the wheel of the Jeep Grand Cherokee with an available best-in-class 4x4 traction management system to maximize control, giving you confidence in all weather conditions. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $349 a month.
Let the Ancestry leaf guide you and reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
Sir, we're gonna need you on the runway later.
Don't let a severe cold hold you back. Get Theraflu. It has the power of 3 medicines to take on your worst pain and fever, cough, and nasal congestion. Theraflu breaks you free from your toughest cold and flu symptoms, so you never miss a day. Theraflu, serious power.
Sometimes the best used car on the road is the one you're still using. Right now, get a synthetic blend oil change, including a free battery check for only $21.99 at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Don't miss the Princess Cruises 50th anniversary sale. Our biggest sale ever. Save up to $500 per person.
If you struggle with back pain, you have the power to turn it off. With this.
Smart Relief from Icy Hot. Just press a button and Smart Relief sends a wave of relaxing pulses that quickly and safely block even chronic back pain for fast, noticeable relief that lasts.
It's the same type of therapy doctors and physical therapists use. And it's wireless, reusable, and easy to use. Turn on Smart Relief and turn off pain.
Comcast, the country's leading provider of entertainment technology, is now hiring technicians and installers in your area. Comcast is searching for individuals who have a passion for the communications industry and who enjoy working one-on-one with customers. If you are enthusiastic with great people and problem-solving skills, log on to jobs.comcast.com to apply. Become part of the Comcast team and work for a dynamic company that offers flexible shifts and great benefits. Log on to jobs.comcast.com and apply today.
Remember, Berries.com. Click the mic and enter code WEATHER or call 888-SWEET-90.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
7 minutes before the hour, just wanted to let you know that we're monitoring a coastal storm off the coast of North and South Carolina that's been strengthening all day long. Now, it's windy from Cape Cod to Cape Canaveral this afternoon, and it's all because of the circulation around this thing. The rain has just gotten into North Carolina. It ended about an hour or two ago in Norfolk, Virginia, where it's been in the 30s all day with that wind. And look at the heavy rain offshore. There are even some thunder showers out there, but this is a cold core system. This has nothing to do with hurricanes. Cape Hatteras, 39 degrees. It's raining with a wind gust of 45 miles an hour. Now, it's a coastal storm. Will it hit the New England coast and the Northeast coast? At this point, we think no. It will continue to move eastward, and we're going to stay storm-free for the time being. But look out there in the upper left-hand corner. As we get a little closer, you can easily see the spin of this storm. This was in the Pacific Northwest a couple of days ago, brought us some rain, and there's another little disturbance. That's a clipper. These two things are going to get together. We'll have moisture. We'll have a new round of cold air. That front is just through Rapid City, by the way, and then that heads to the East Coast before payday. Could we get some more snow out of this one for Boston? We're beleaguered already. Well, let's turn that question over to our experts in the lab. Carl Parker is standing by with Alex Wilson. Guys?
That's right. You know, when we talk about, you mentioned last hour, people in Boston saying, I've never seen this much snow. And I think for people who aren't used to snow, they're saying, sure you have, right? Not necessarily.
Yeah, and you hear stories about terrible storms that have occurred in history. So, you know, it's interesting because we can try to quantify that and see if the data actually supports this idea that we haven't seen something like this before. And there was a study that came out in March of 2014 in the Bulletin of the American Meteorological Society. It's called BAMS. And this study was showing that in the mid-latitudes, which is 30 to 60 degrees latitude in the northern hemisphere, that both the frequency and intensity of storms, extratropical storms, non-tropical storms, has come up. And in fact, when we look at the trend lines in both of these cases, there's a very clear-cut uptrend there. There's no doubt about that. Now, what's interesting is that in the study, they actually refer to this as moderate evidence, which shows you that scientists generally are very conservative. They don't pounce on things, and they're really careful about making statements. But this certainly does appear that we are seeing a change in the atmosphere. And this has been over several decades. We're starting at 1950 on the left, and we're going out to 2010 on the right there.
Yeah, especially within the last decade. And, you know, when we look at just the last week, the pattern really has been relentless for these folks. It's an unmoving pattern that has just allowed for these snowstorms to build up, and it looks like we've still got it.
Yeah, and another thing that this study showed is that low pressure right along the coast is another thing that we're seeing a lot more of, really strong lows along the coast, which is not entirely surprising because you've got this cold continental air that comes down from Canada and right down into the U.S. and then offshore you've got relatively warm ocean water, so there's a lot of contrast there, and storms feed on that contrast. When you've got a lot of contrast, that allows the low pressure to really get going, and here we've depicted the low pressure, and we're seeing another one of these bombs that Dave was talking about developing south of Nova Scotia. That's Friday morning. Now the latest modeling is scooting it a little more to the right, and we want to keep doing that. We want to keep pushing it this way. Just scoot it, keep scooting it. We would still get wind in this case, and that's not going to help anything, obviously, but we would not
it'd be better
get
more snow.
The worst of this storm is out in here over the open water in this model depiction. So if this holds, that would be good news for Boston.
Right, and then we watch for a second system for the second part of the weekend.
Right. And this is the European model. And the European model does show this being an even stronger, even larger system. So again, very windy on Sunday morning. And it shows a little more of the western periphery of that storm getting into southeastern New England, which would mean a bigger deal for southeastern New England. So this is what that European model looks like. There's storm number 1. And we're talking about a glancing blow. The GFS model is right with the Euro on that. Ensembles generally agree as well. And then here is the second storm, and we see more of an impact there. Now, the GFS model does not say that it's going to be quite so much of an impact, but the GFS ensembles are closer to the European, so it's still possible that we get more substantial snow in New England.
All right, something we will keep a close eye on, keep updating you on. Thank you so much, Carl. Dave, back to you.
Okay, so what's behind all these big snowstorms in the Northeast? Can we blame it on climate change? Well, our experts are dissecting the science of this unusual weather. Plus, the weight of winter is too much for these Boston buildings. How many roofs have collapsed so far? We'll let you know.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees, under mostly cloudy skies with windy conditions. Tonight, mostly clear, low 52, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, plentiful sunshine, high 74, winds north-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 52, winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Now on Weather Center Live, another roof collapse near Boston.
Heavy snow is piling up, and now 2 more storms are in the forecast. Mike Seidel anchors our live coverage there. Mike.
And I've got a couple of good friends. We're going to do some sledding. We've got Carlo and Lucy Crocini from the north end of Boston. We're going to come back and tackle these mountains of snow. Let's go out west where Goodloe has been tackling over 90 inches of this stuff.
In fact, officially, Mike, 92.1 inches of snow here in Worcester. Snow is placed in the lower four, actually in the entire U.S. right now. But take a look at that. Some sunshine helped us get to 30 degrees. It's been 5 days since we've been this warm. We have a lot colder air in the way, which could mean more snow. Details coming up on Weather Center Live.
They made it to 30.
They did. What a treat. And, you know, Mike's there with the kids. They've got the sleds.
Yep.
Now, they're going to head back to school tomorrow, and sleds won't be your only method of transportation because they're actually going to get public transit going back in Boston again
they're trying to get back to normal.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Weather Center Live. I'm Dave Schwartz with Alex Wilson.
And the problems for Boston really keep coming. Even though we are seeing improvements, other places there are issues like this roof collapse. It's just one of many reported around the state this afternoon. The latest blow to this city, just digging out from record-breaking snow.
Here are the numbers to put this all in perspective. In Boston, we've had snow 14 of the last 18 days, so it's just become almost a daily occurrence. And it's been snowing almost 40% of the time when you consider hourly observations at the airport.
Absolutely, and we have 72.5 inches to show for it. When we look at the top 10 snowiest seasons, this year is in there.
Number 9. Number 9, right.
And we're not done.
We're not done. We're far from done. And now here's Mike Seidel. Mike, have you given the bad news to those girls that they're going back to school tomorrow?
We got Lucy and we got Carlo. And they are the kids, Melanie Crocini from the North End. And you said, Carlo, you're ready to go back to school, right?
Yeah.
You've had enough of this?
Yes.
Because you don't want to go to school until July 4th.
No.
What about you, Lucy?
Yes.
You ready to go back to school?
Yes.
And how about let's check in with the mom, Melanie. What do you think?
Absolutely ready. We've had way too many snow days.
I mean, kids are nice, but, you know, let's get them back in school.
It gets old real fast.
Yeah, I know. But you've been sledding around here, and you've been here 18 years. Have you ever seen anything like this in Boston?
Never. Never.
And what are your friends and neighbors saying?
They're saying get those kids back to school, too.
And what's the, as they say, the mood of the people?
It ebbs and flows. The mornings are usually pretty exciting, and then by about noon, we're done with it.
Okay, we are going to show Lucy and Carlo at their best. I know it's not, you know, it's not a ski resort, but show us your sledding skills here at Marriott Long Wharf. Go ahead down. We've groomed the surface for you. You're going to go first, Lucy?
First.
Ladies first. Go ahead. And then Carlo, you follow up. You pumped for this?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Yeah, he's pumped. There she goes. Go ahead. Nice job into the slush. You're next, Lucy. I mean, Carlo. Nice job, Lucy. Here comes Carlo. He's going to do something special.
Here he goes.
Whoa, nice. Great kids. Hey, thanks for
you.
joining us out here.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, they're going to run a marathon on April 20th.
We'll be ready for them. We'll be ready.
Guys, gals, thank you. Enjoy your day back in school. Carl Parker, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, it's too much snow, it's a problem, but, you know, you got to get the kids in here and have some fun on an evening like this where it's 30 degrees. It feels almost like spring here in Boston.
All right. Hey, Mike, I think I located your dinner location right behind you, if it's open.
Legal Seafoods. You are correct, sir. there's a standing reservation there for the entire week for yours truly.
All right. Good deal. Good spot. Mike, thank you so much. All right, so we've been watching these next storms to try to see whether or not we're going to get any more weather there in Boston, and there is certainly potential for snow, but right now what we're thinking is that the worst of these two next big storms is going to be mostly offshore. So let's first of all take a look at the cold air that's coming down. Another big plunge of cold air is going to drop down in the next couple of days, and we'll notice this kink in the upper flow that's right in there. So that's storm number 1.